Hey, how's it going? It's Saturday, February 28, 2015, and as you can tell, we've got some weather here in North Texas. For those of you who are not in this part of the state, congratulations, you're probably fishing today. But since we're ice and snowed in today, I thought it might be a good day to talk about flies we use around Texas for catching bass. So what we're going to do, since we've got a lot of time on our hands, maybe a few more days actually, I missed the Houston fishing show, is we're going to go into the fly shop and I'm going to show you a few different fly patterns, colors, and things that I've used in the past to catch nice sized bass on Texas lakes. These flies translate into being good flies also for rivers and things like that. So let's go in the fly shop, spend a little time in this cold weather indoors and see what we can do about getting some flies tied for this spring and the bass season coming this spring and summer. Alright guys, welcome to the fly shop. I know this weather is good for just about one thing this time of year here in North Texas. As you saw earlier, with 6 inches of snow on the ground and icy rain coming down now, it's only good for tying flies mainly. And this video is basically geared towards people who are considering tying flies, haven't done it, you know, kind of the beginner to fly fishing who's trying to decide whether or not to get into fly tying. Really, there's no good reason not to get into fly tying. You know, a lot of us, when we start out, we buy flies at a big box store. Those flies wear out, we're disappointed, and we go buy more. Well, it doesn't take long to realize that you can tie a better fly than the general big box store fly, one that'll last longer. And then you start thinking about variations, and one thing leads to another. You buy a vise, you have drawers and drawers full of fly tying materials, hooks and weight and stuff like that. Then you find yourself deeply into this. Well, there's no downside to that. One of the first questions I get is, you can fly fish in Texas? Yes, you can fly fish in Texas. And then the second question is usually, what do you fish for? And we fish for everything here that is here, whether it's gar, whether it's carp, or in this case what we're talking about is largemouth bass. And it's not spring yet here in North Texas. You go further south and of course the bass may be starting to come on. And we're talking specifically about largemouth and any cousins they might have. The way to get started, as far as the flies that you buy, not necessarily the ones that you tie, is to think in terms of water column. There's the top water flies that are like poppers and frogs and things like that. There's just below that is that upper column, and that would be things like seducers, whistlers, and deceivers. Those guys just go right under the surface. So for you beginners, that's top water, subsurface, and then we go into the clouser minnow. If you're into bait patterns where you are on lakes and things like that, or even rivers, some rivers, clousers are killers. And then you can vary the weight if you actually tie your own. You can vary the weight of those clousers to cover the rest of the water column almost to the bottom. When I get to the bottom and I know I'm bouncing off the bottom and wanting bass from down deep, what I have is, I call it a double bunny, but essentially it's a natural imitation of those plastics you see, those plastic worms, and it ends up being about that long. It's hard to cast and everything, but that is a fly that bounces off the bottom, and it catches, I had nothing but large bass caught on that particular type of fly. So that's a quick overview of the water column and how that works with choosing your flies. You know, to start out when you're prospecting, trying to figure out where they are, the bass are at this time, you know, the beginning of the season, that's what you want to do, is carry some of each. Then if they're top water, you concentrate. The next day you go out, the very next day, like I do, you load up with poppers if they're on top. You load up with clousers if they're down deeper. And that's how you kind of start to zero in on where they are and what they're biting on. Within those variations of depth, there's also variations of the type of fly. And I'm one of those people that believes that there's no fly that hasn't been tied. It's kind of like there's no photograph that hasn't been taken. It's all been done before, and an infinite number of variations. There's just too many people out there tying flies. Everything's been done. That's why I don't spend a lot of time actually showing everybody how to tie flies for the 1000th time. There's a lot of good videos out there. The only videos that I do about fly tying are on flies that I consider to be truly unique or I've never seen a video on. So those are the ones you'll see from me. Anyway, just wanted to give you a brief overview. You know, the colors I like when it comes to clousers for bass, there's kind of a variable there. Black works all day long. However, if you're going to be fishing all day and you're still prospecting, still trying to find a pattern, start with the black when it's early and dark. Go to bright colors during the bright time of the day. If it's overcast or cloudy like it is today, use grays and not white and not black colors. Purples are good. Overall, my best clouser fly is a black on black with bright silver big flash tied in there as well. So, you know, as we go along through this weather, if it continues to be like this, I'll do some more videos and throw them out there real quick to show you kind of the individual flies and the variations thereof. You know, the best fly in your box is the one you have the most confidence in, and that is what I've come to believe. I can have a box full of flies, but if one of them's working, I'm confident in that fly, I can throw it that day, and I can throw it the next day, and the next day, and I'll catch fish. I don't know if it's because I stick with that fly, because I'm confident in it, and it just has to catch fish, or what it is, but it's like you get the juju on that fly, and it catches. So I hope you enjoyed this video. It's kind of a brief overview. You can go as deep into fly tying as you want. You can stay as shallow as you want as far as the equipment you buy. And all, you know, I've got tons of material, hooks, weights, eyes, all this kind of stuff that goes with it. But what you'll find is that if you start tying your own flies, you will catch more fish. If you just think about it, this is the guys that are on TV fishing conventional, they have a set number of lures that they use, and it's a lot, yeah, but in a set number of colors, and there's a lot of colors, but they don't have the infinite choices that we have, and they can't just go home and make a new lure for a different color or variation that came to their mind. That's what we can do in fly fishing, is we can take an idea we have that we have on the water today, go home and tie that idea tonight, go out there and fish it tomorrow and see if it works. And I'll bet you'll start to zero in on catching more fish all the time. And, you know, another thing you'll do is you can actually have a choice just by the size of the fly that you tie as to how many fish you catch. You can catch a lot of little ones. You can catch a few big ones. Just depends on fly size, in my opinion, a lot of the time. There are plenty of small fish that will bite a big fly, but big fish love big meals. So have a great day, great night, great weekend, and hopefully if we're going to be stuck in the snow, we'll have some more videos for you. Thanks for watching, and we'll talk to you soon.